ladies and gentlemen, it's time for story time. All right. Today's story is called Dory's Story. The author is Jerry Paula18. The illustrator is David Bidzricki. My mom and dad always told me, "You're just a kid, so don't ever go out in the boat alone." But one night, I learned about plankton. These tiny sea creatures are invisible during the day, but sometimes, after dark, they light up.
Oh.
I wanted to learn more. The next morning, the ocean was flat calm. I couldn't resist. I pushed the Dory out and decided to row to the big rock in the middle of the bay. As I rowed, I noticed dozens of seabirds circling around. Grandpa says that where there are seabirds, there are fish. So I kept on rowing.
I'm thinking of a bird to the sky. That's
You're absolutely right. That's a beautiful seagull. I looked over the side of the boat. I saw hundreds and hundreds of tiny shrimp swimming. I guessed that the little shrimp were eating the plankton. As I rowed toward the big rock, I saw a school of sand lances. Some people call these fish sand eels. The sand eels were chasing and eating the shrimp.
This is the next one.
I heard something splash, and I looked over the bow of the boat. I heard more splashes. I looked closer and saw mackerels chasing and eating the sand eels.
Ew, this is so gross. It's not so eat now. Ew.
Then I saw them. Bluefish! Yikes! The bluefish were swimming like crazy and eating the mackerels. It was a feeding frenzy. Bluefish have razor-sharp teeth. I learned that the hard way. Last year, I put my fingers into the mouth of a bluefish to pull out my hook. Zap! I had to get 4 stitches. I stood up in the dory to watch the show the bluefish were putting on. Suddenly, 5 huge tuna appeared in the bay.
Oh my
The tuna were chasing and eating the bluefish. I began to worry. Maybe going out into the boat alone wasn't such a good idea. The tuna were almost as long as the boat.
I think that there's a bird flying. This guy is eating a bird.
I've been scared a few times, but I was terrified. When killer whales came into the bay chasing the tuna, I didn't know what to do. But it all started to make sense.
Oh God,
Killer whales eat tuna. Tuna eat bluefish.
Oh, yes,
Bluefish eat mackerels. Mackerels eat sand eels. Sand eels eat shrimp. And shrimp eat plankton. I knew one thing. I didn't want to become part of the food chain. Help! Where's my mommy? Just as I decided to row to shore, whammo! A humongous humpback whale breached right in front of me. But wait, humpback whales don't eat killer whales. Humpbacks eat plankton and krill, some of the tiniest creatures in the ocean. The food chain is really more like a food web. The word breach means the fish came out of the water. Normally, like a trap.
No.
You're right, Liz. Normally fish stay in the water and they swim. That's how they live.
We'll go. They'll flip.
Right, sometimes they do flip. I should have been smart like the seals and stayed near shore. The harbor seals, you're right, Liz. The harbor seals had sensed the danger and pulled themselves out of the water to escape the killer whales. Whiskers are on animals to help them determine how wide they are so they can fit in small places. All of a sudden, a killer whale swam by chasing a tuna. The tuna jumped out of the water and smashed into my Dory. Bam! Oh no! I was capsized. Thank God I had my life jacket on.
I think it just fell out the boat into the water.
Oh,
He fell off, didn't he? Right, Liz? Fell out of the boat? I should have stayed with the boat to wait for help, but I was scared, and I started swimming. I swam through the shrimp, the eels, the mackerels, the bluefish, the tuna, the killer whales, and the humpback whale. It was cold. I had water in my nose, but I kept swimming toward that rock in the middle of the bay. I made it. I pulled myself up by grabbing onto the seaweed. Just then, I heard my mom's voice. Danny, you tell the best stories when you're in the bathtub. You should write a book. So, the story, friends, just to let you know, friends, the story, the author used imagination. The boy Danny really wasn't in a boat. He was in the bathtub, and he was playing with his toys in the bathtub. If you look again, there he is. He's got a boat. It's called a Dory. That's the real name, not Dory the fish, like Finding Dory or Finding Nemo. A Dory is an actual boat.
It's just a book.
And then he's got, is that a shark or a killer whale or a mackerel or I'm not sure? Whale. So he's just using his imagination.
Oh my God.
And came up with the story.
That's what I hear.
Oh man.
Exactly, your brain, using your imagination. You all could write your own story.
Yeah,
Maybe one day I'll read it. Thanks for joining us.